everyone. Hello and welcome to Beyond Small Talk every Thursday at the 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Hour. Hello, so happy to see you today. My name is Jackie Janik. I'm a women's empowerment coach, helping women uncover their purpose and define their own path in the world. And today you are watching Beyond Small Talk. Real women, real conversations, elevating womankind one talk at a time. And today we're going in a bit of a different direction than last week and a few of the weeks before. We're talking about spicing up your social media. Now, I understand you might have social media for your business or your personal life, or maybe even one for your pet. I've seen a lot of that lately. Like dogs get some good social media. That we're going to talk about spicing it up. What does that mean? What does content look like? Sometimes I have this love-hate relationship with social media. And is it just me, or does anyone else kind of feel like, hey, sometimes I love you, sometimes I hate you? It's great when you are when you want to communicate or network or find out what's going on with your family, right? But other times you're like, oh, some people just put too much on social media. And you're like, what is going on out there? Oh my God. So we're going to be talking with Prathima, and she is an expert in social media. She's helping small business with their social media strategies. And we're going to go over some tips and tools, asking questions about what's effective social media if you have a business, what isn't, etc. Now, let's see if we could just get her on, because I see, hi Benita, thanks for always following. And let's go to get, I don't see her yet, Prathima, there you are. Okay, let's get you on. Her, hi Benita, tell me, what is your relationship with social media? So love, hate, do you love it more? Do you hate it more? It depends. Like sometimes I go down a deep rabbit hole of like, where am I going on social media? Who's watching me? And then you follow like your likes, your who likes you more, whatever. It could go crazy. You can get crazy on it. So, Mina, where are you? We'll give her a few more seconds that I invited her. I don't know what's up. Hi. Again, we're going to be talking today about spicing up your social media. What does that look like? Maybe tips, number one tip to spice it up. Are you looking to even spice up your social media? Or maybe you just don't care. Like, what is the point of your social media? I think it's good to have an intention around what do you use social media for and why. Hang on, let's try to get her on one more time. Oh, there we are. Oh, she's having trouble seeing the live. Okay. Oh, I wonder why. They're telling more followers. What's going on with IG? It's telling me, hang on, we're telling more followers to join your video. I'll invite her over again. Come on, IG, what are you doing to me? Okay. Prathima, I invited you again. So hopefully you are getting this and we can get started, because I'm like really excited to how to spice up my social media. And there's, oh, joined. Okay, let me try again. And I just even noticed that I can do filters while it says invited. Are you able to, did you get the invite? It keeps telling me invited. Hey, Allie. Thanks for the wave. Oh, there we go. Oh, freaking IG world, you're messing up the Beyond Small Talk. You're doing a bit of a spin, so hopefully it will come on soon. Did anyone notice that you can have filters when you do IG Live? Should I try a filter, or do you guys sometimes think like, oh my lord. Hi, Allie. Okay, so sometimes I try, does this look like me, guys, at all? Or do I like pretend with all my, oh no, she's not able to get on. Okay, this check, like, maybe one day. So would anyone on, what is your perception? What are your thoughts on filters? Are they a yes or a no? I'll join if I need be. Thanks, Allie. That's so nice of you. You're always a support system, and you're always funny. Like, you're just great on, oh, look at this one. Look at my eyes pop, guys. Like, have you just gone through all your filters? And I get really mad at the ones that make me look old or weird. Like, look at this one. Okay, so this is not fun for anyone right now, except, yes, Sparkles. Allie, like, seriously, like, should I really be doing this on? Okay, let me try one more time. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Prathima, I invited you again, so hopefully. Oh, I see. Oh, please tell me you're coming on. I hope it's just not my Wi-Fi. I'm in office today. Hi!
Oh my gosh, I have no clue what's going on. I'm like moving around my house trying to find if it's me or it's you. I don't know. But
Is
I
it
think you
just
can see me now, right?
I can see you, and I'm sparkling because I was messing around with filters. Like, why does anyone want to see me do this? I don't know, because then it comes into a podcast and no one will see this. But like, I didn't even know this existed on live. Like, so that's why I was just
Okay.
putzing
So you're
around.
just trying things out. Well, I'm glad you're having fun while I'm trying to figure myself out.
Nice to meet you. Hello, and welcome to Be on Small Talk.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate it. I'm excited and sorry to make it late, but I think we'll still get a lot of good chats done.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. So, Prathima, I introduced you, but would you like, I was a little curious. I was on your website, I download your stuff, but how did you get into social media and why? Like, why social media?
Yep, great question. It wasn't something that just happened. Of course, I decided, okay, I want to be a social media person or like help businesses or anything with social media. But 5 years ago, I've always been on Instagram and Facebook, so I've been like using it personally for a long time. Since it began, like way back in 2007. But I think 5 years ago, when I started my network marketing business, we had to, there were so many consultants doing what I was doing. If you don't know about network marketing, you're representing a big company as a consultant, independent consultant. And so you have to talk about the products and services and stand out from the crowd. So I had to figure out how to a lot of people by just talking and going from door to door, which we don't do anymore these days. So that's how social media fell into like my lap in that sense. And I started utilizing it and using that as a way to market the products and the business and also myself. And what I learned was I've always been a shy person and I had trouble communicating. I was never comfortable being public speaking or in front of the camera, but that took me out of my comfort zone like big time. And so that's what really got me into, using social media for business and things like that. But I was just sharing my story, my journey. I was a mom of two back then. And I think a lot of people were able to connect with me that way as well, people near and far. And so it was just a new way to communicate. And I started getting more comfortable doing it too, sharing videos, sharing like my photos. And I love photography. So I started doing it that way. And so over the years, like people have just asked me, how do you get so confident? How do you get so, I want to be as confident as you. How do I do that? So I think I just picked it up over 5 years. It wasn't overnight. And I realized that social media has so much power because people used to message me and, say that I made them smile that day. I, impacted something. I inspired them to do something. And I'm like, whoa, like this is huge. Like I made people feel better about themselves and, I can make a big impact through social media. So that's kind of how I started thinking how powerful it was in a positive way. I mean, it gets a huge negative rap. Of course, there's tons of negative things with social media, but there's also huge positive things. And I started seeing that just over the last few years. And I decided to just go full swing into social media after that and just help my fellow business partners and things like that out and other small businesses. So that's how I got into social media. That's a long story.
No, that's great, and it makes total sense. And I like how you're talking about the confidence of showing up on social media. And like I'm playing with these filters because sometimes I'm like, oh, I like how I look better there, but is that really how I look? Like, I'm authentic. I pretty much say what it's on my mind. I don't hide anything. I'm pretty real on here.
Yeah.
And then my husband's like, but that's not really your face. And I said, oh, I know. That's true. You're right. You're right. That's not. Um, but it's fun. Like sometimes social media is fun. Oh, and then about having confidence on it. I tell people that it takes practice, right? So I'm now on episode 56 of Beyond Small Talk. My first episode, which Allie, who's on here, was on it, it doesn't sound like this at all. My 10th one didn't sound like this at all. My 20th didn't sound like this at all. So I think like what you're saying is for confidence is just keep doing it. And of course there's going to be blips, but that's human. Like we're human. There's
Yep.
going to be blips, like blips getting on here. I've had people that I couldn't like have an episode at all because IG just wasn't working that day. So it's like rolling with it and just understanding that it's okay to make mistakes, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And by the way, I don't know are if you're breaking up for everyone else too, but some of your audio was breaking up for me, but I heard like the gist of it, and I totally agree in the sense of it takes practice. Again, I this is not how confident I was 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago. So it takes time, and it's just amazing to see, you have 56 episodes now. That's huge. And, just practicing and knowing that now social media is not expected to be, production, right? Like it doesn't have to be that perfect filtered photo or video and like use amazing like sets and backgrounds or anything. People expect social media to be the natural, like in your own setting, and be yourself in your own environment kind of thing. So yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to change myself. I was trying to get it off. Like now I didn't want to filter anymore, but I'm just going around. And yes, I apologize. Like I think where I am, sometimes I'm in my office, the Wi-Fi gets lost, so I
Okay.
apologize. I hear
Okay, no
you
problem.
too. Like I hear
Okay.
you, but I see the dead spin. So let's jump in a little bit more about how to spice up. So we call this how to spice up your social media. Um, what would you say is like number one for someone to do, either personal or in a business? Like, do they audit? I know you're doing an audit, which I'm very interested in. What's like step number one?
Looking for other people, look at their accounts, and like how much are they posting, what types of content are they posting, and then comparing that to your what you have been doing, and then first understanding that, right? And then
Yeah, I keep losing. I don't know if you can hear me, but I keep losing you, and it's so frustrating because you're saying such great stuff, and I'm like, what is going on? Why are you think we keep spinning? I apologize. I've done it here before, and I don't know why it's just not getting a lot.
I don't know if it's me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's probably where I am. Usually, I'm not
Okay.
here doing this, so I'm sorry. Oh, you can hear me, Allie. Okay. So can you hear Prathima too? Oh, she just dropped off. You're going to see my frustration come out, people. Thank you, Allie. Let me get another filter going. Oh yeah, let me invite her back because I feel like she has such good stuff to offer. And how oh my God, what is this one? Seriously, I'm going to cry. Don't ever do that to me. Did you? Back, okay. Did you? It's out Wi-Fi. Okay. It's my Wi-Fi. It's my Wi-Fi. Look at all these things. I just, thank you, Benita. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's my Wi-Fi.
Stuff
I
happens.
have a coworker on, and she's like, "It's our Wi-Fi." So I apologize because you have such good information, and I just don't want to lose anything that you're saying. I just want to take it all up. So I apologize. Can you give me a quick synopsis again?
Yes. So the way to spice up your social, yes, I agree. It's to do an audit first of what's not working for you and to know what's working for other people. So it's kind of like you have to write down the people who are doing well and finding success using social media and, figure out, basically do an audit of their account and find out what they're doing, how much content they're posting, what types of content and things like that, and then compare it to yours. And then that's when you'll know, okay, I think I see what I should be doing. And that's the way you spice up your social. The way you spice it up is really by, figuring out what's not working and improving. That's it. Like, it's not like, everybody doesn't have the same access to certain features and things like that. And even if you don't, there's still ways you can do so well. So that's what I would say is about spicing up your social.
Yeah, and like some people aren't. Like if you're a small business and you just started, you don't have the swipe up, right? Like everyone talks about swipe up, swipe up. And there's ways around that, I guess. Maybe it takes a little more, but I do link in bio or things like that. And I don't think those kind of things should hold you back of right, spicing up your social. How do you think it affects your marketing? I've been in marketing over 20 years, and when social hit, and I can't believe you said it was 2007?
Facebook came out, I was on it
Yeah.
immediately. Instagram, I think, what is it, 2010, 2011? I don't remember. But I was using all those filters on Instagram. So I was using personally, and it was fun. And yeah, marketing has changed. And that was not my background. I was a computer engineer, software engineer. So, but I love photography and creative, like, outlets in that sense. Like, I love doing photography, graphic design, things like that. So I was just not feeling my work, and so I had to let it out somewhere else. And I used to do all this on the side, and so marketing, really, social media has taken it to another level because you can not be, you know fancied out and have the biggest production sets or production, like, quality, like, assets, and still reach so many people and still tell a story and still make a big impact. And that's what social media has done, is just made that connection much easier, and the message to be sent out in a simpler way and in a stronger way, I think, too. So I mean, yeah, marketing has changed because of social media in so many ways. So yeah.
And it goes so fast too. Like I feel like social um, has just accelerated
Hmm.
the way to get your message out there and how you show up. And it's just so fast. Now it's like, oh, wait, I want to get my product out there. So what do I do? You start posting, you start doing lives, you start doing all this. And like 20 something years ago, what do we have to do? A print ad. That would take, months to get in front of somebody. So it's just so interesting how literally anyone could share their voice and someone could be listening, which is insane, right?
Yeah, totally. And I don't think, the foundations have changed at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
From print ads to websites and how you market yourself that way to what you do on social. It's the same thing. It's just you have to think of it in it's a different tool set, right? So you have different tools to use for setting up that same foundation. And it's the way it's accelerating, it's crazy. And now there's so many ways. And I would just kind of, I guess, warn people is that, you know, you have to make sure you remember that foundation, and how to market, how to sell first, and like practice that. And then you can use all these features on all these tools, on all these platforms, and then, you know, slowly get better at those. So, but yeah, I would say like just storytelling and, bringing out your true self and figuring out your voice in some way, shape, or form. And that's experimenting. And that took me a while to do. It's just like figure out, you know, how am I going to come on social? I'm just like this goofy person. Like I'm enjoying bringing out the humorous side of myself. And I'm like this at home too. You can ask my kids. I'm like weird dances and like voices and things like that. So it's kind of like, Reels especially has given me that opportunity to do so and be kind of that same person on social media. So yeah.
Yeah, I find Reels interesting. I haven't figured out how to show up on it or use that tool. Like I enjoy the live, I enjoy stories. Those are my top two favorite, because I like audio and talking more than writing. So like the actual post, I don't like as much because that's just not the format of my preference to share. And then when Reels came out, I was like, I have no idea how to do you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I guess
And
it's like an important, and then how do they come up with these ideas? Like how does IG or anyone else come up with these ideas? Where do they come from?
well, so that's the thing is like they're creators from all over the world that are coming up with these cool, like fun, entertaining ideas. And because of social media, like someone halfway across the world can find it and see it and be like, oh my God, that's so like cool. I want to kind of make my spin on it. And that's how trends start, right? So that's what has made it so fun is that you can find people like in other countries and like other continents doing these crazy things, and you're just finding so much creativity that's like being unleashed on TikTok and Reels and all that stuff. But I did want to say though, like, you know, when you talked about you're comfortable with IGTV and live and like doing stories, I think it's what resonates with your audience, and you figured it out and it works, and it's totally fine to just stick with that stuff and then experiment on the side too, and then try here and there and see and ask your audience, do they like, you know, the Reels format with you, like when you put some up, and ask them, hey, does it still get the same message across? Do you like it? And then if they don't, then just don't do it. So it's kind of like it has to be this relationship where you're figuring out, and asking people what they want from you, and then you giving it to them. So, and if you found success with what you're doing, great.
That's a really good thing. I haven't really done that. Just ask, ask people what they want to see from you.
Yep.
That's a good point. That's great. Yeah, because sometimes you think that's what people want, and then you get totally surprised. Like, no, they could care less about you on stories. And then, or they could be like, I love your stories,
Yep.
Or because even in my day job, I look at the stats and this and that, and then I read articles and say, oh, Instagram doesn't like stories. You don't get as much with that than like a reel or whatever. And I'm like, but should you really change your whole values or what brings you joy or what you like to do just because IG algorithms told me so? I'm like, no, like that's where I was. And I'm like, I'm not going to change my joy because you're going to definitely see that in the content creation. You're going to be like, oh boy, she does not like doing that, right? I love doing this. I love stories. So
yeah, no, I agree that it's finding that balance, as we love to use that word. It's like making sure you enjoy what you're doing and how you're communicating, and then also, not letting new things and like all these myths or just random articles that you might find. Of course, if it's Instagram is saying something, then I would kind of pay attention to it to some extent, but definitely not taking your voice out of, how you want to show up. So I definitely agree with that. So you're saying, so you're a women's empowerment coach. So is that your side gig, or is that what you do full time?
No, I don't do that full time. That's like my side gig. I'm a marketing VP for an eyewear company. Yet I love running women's circles and in real life events. However, when somebody I was talking to the other day called the pandemic, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. So when the pandemic started, I wasn't able, obviously, to get that community going or to sit. I've sat in hundreds of circles and had these just beautiful conversations that some were really hard to have, yet they're so fulfilling to me. Like I literally get like off on those kind of conversations. Like it's wonderful. And I didn't know what to do or how to get that back during a pandemic. So I just started doing these lives, and then someone suggested I just convert it to a podcast. And it makes it real easy. You could just download, extract audio. It was like, I love technology for those purposes, right? And that brings me to this question, like social media and the technology. And we feel like you said, you could have somebody around the world meet them, and now the world's smaller. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Is it somewhere in the middle? Like, how do you feel social media has affected our like daily lives? Big question.
It's, yeah, it's a very important question, and I think it requires also for us to each think deeply on, how our habits have changed because of social media. And I think it can be bad if you don't have the mindset and you're not strong in, making sure you aren't worried about people who judge you. Like, I mean, people over the internet, right? I mean,
Yeah.
anybody has the opportunity now to judge you. And if you're not ready for that stuff, social media can really it's harsh, right? And it can be harsh. But on the other flip side, the way you can impact someone to take a huge step in their life, I've gotten just comments from people who I haven't spoken to in so long. They'll just DM me here and there. They'll be like, what you posted today inspired me to do blah, whatever it is. And just the power of that is like just crazy to me. So I think it's just that we have to find our balance with usage of social media and making sure it doesn't overtake our lives, our personal lives. So I use it for business mainly, and I give a little bit of time to do personal stuff, like, whatever I need to, and search for reviews or keep up with some of my friends, like life or whatever it is. But mainly for business, I have to set aside times and block off times for doing activities, social media related activities, and that will push my business on the marketing side and help me build relationships that way with people in my industry. So I think with that said, if you're able to figure that schedule and that plan and that keep that habit going and that routine and know what you're doing, using social media for, it'll make it so much easier. So it's kind of like, okay, what am I using social media for? Why am I on here? And realizing those things. And if you start scrolling and you realize 1 hour has gone by, it's like, okay, you have to check yourself and say, was that what did I get out of it? If I was entertained, okay, fine. Did I get ideas for content? Great. So it's, it's kind of like you have to build those habits, just like you wake up in the morning at 5 and do meditation or something. It's the same thing. It's like you have to build these kind of habits with social media too. So you have to set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. Like you have to have boundaries with social media, right? I like how you said, what's your intention for being on? Is it for a business? Is it personal? What do you get out of it personally? Because I mean, sometimes I get FOMO. I'm not going to lie, people. Sometimes I see some great photos of people's on their weekends with and I'm like, oh, I have a bit of FOMO over there. Or some, fashionistas and all their outfits, and then I have to remember, like, that's their business. That's not just their lives. That's also could be their business. And then you just have to think those things through. And I think at one point, the larger or more influence you have on social, that you have to have a certain type of mindset around that, because I always refer back to when I get thank God I haven't got any crazy poor comments. Yet I'm ready for it, because Brene Brown in one of her books talks about people that aren't in your arena. Why are you even caring what they say? You're not doing it. Do you have the balls to come on all the time and do this live? Why am I taking what you say when you're not even playing in my arena? And not better or worse. We're just in different places, right?
Yeah.
So I'm prepared for all that. I have to admit that I have gotten some, and this is, it kind of upsets me for women that when women aren't here, we're more open to people, particularly men, coming on, offering things in your DM. So I got a few of those. One offered me $400 a week.
Okay.
I said, first of all, I'm way more than $400 a week. He's like, I'll be your sugar daddy. Here's $400 a week. I said, $400? That's not going to get me anywhere. I'm a New Yorker. That won't get me nothing. But just for people to be freely to do that, or feel freely behind a screen to comment on like your life or how you look or what you say or like how you live. I just feel like society now has more balls around saying these things because they're behind the screen and typing. So I want to remind people, particularly women who show up and share their experience and do good in the world and are of service. Last week I had Glenda from Rising from Bipolar putting a lot of herself out there around mental illness, which can be real challenging because there's a lot of stigma around there. That we did have, a brief talk around how to show up, and also set those boundaries and protect yourself and your mindset when there's opportunities for people to, comment that's not really useful.
Yep. No, I think
that was a long story.
That, I mean, it has given people the freedom, but to say whatever the heck they want because people can't see them. They're, this profile pic, which isn't them and all that, which is the scariest part, especially thinking that, your kids are on social media or whatever. And that is the part that is very, very scary. But now, I think there's so many also people educating about how we can be better as parents too, and like to limit those kinds of things. And I at home also speak very freely with my eldest, who's 12, and he does have a phone, and we allowed him to, and he just has to know, like, some of this stuff, like the guidelines and the boundaries he has to keep and all that. So I think that's the scariest part. And other than that, though, there's so much positivity that can come from social media. So yeah,
I just like the inspiration I get, like inspiration and motivation. And I during this past year with the pandemic and the politics, and there was just a lot. It was just like a heavy year that I literally curated my IG to focus on things that bring me joy. And at first I was like, well, I need to be informed about what everyone's talking about, this and that. But I saw that it wasn't helping my mindset. It was bringing me to very not good places. So I said, you know what? Well, I didn't say this. Actually, my husband said this to me. He goes, oh, just stop following those people. And I was like, oh, is it that easy? Is it that easy that I could just stop following someone? So that's what I did. And now I realize that my whole social media, he's like, everything in your social is the same. I said, everything on your social is the same. Like mine is women empowerment, life coaching, fashion, maybe some pets and animal funny things, and autism for my daughter. But that's basically it. So I think I read on one of your posts that it said what you can do. Is you can unfollow somebody.
Yeah, you don't need permission to delete comments and things. This is like, just think of it as your home, right? This is your home online, and it's your community that you're building. So initially, if you have set values for your community and why you're building this like community online, keeping those values in front line and in your vision, and knowing that will automatically like make sure that you delete all those things that don't align with your community, and delete the people who don't align with your community. And or if you have another way to do it, great. Like if you want to DM them and let them know that this is not allowed, things like that. It's your choice. You run it the way you want to, and just be kind and respectful. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. What do you think? Okay, sorry, I gotta play with it. What do you think of filters? Like, are they yay, nay? Like, what's your perception on them? Like, what do you think?
So I use them in stories sometimes to be fun.
Like, why? This hurts me. This pains me. Like, I get very upset when I see that. Okay, you use them in stories.
Yeah.
Oh.
this one like with my purple hair, and people thought, oh my God, it looks so great on you. So I'm like, yeah, it does. Like, maybe I'll try
It does.
Yeah.
You look good in purple hair.
Thank you. So let me keep this. But yeah, filters, I think they're great for just that entertaining, fun aspect, which stories is, right? I mean, that's kind of like share whatever you want, be whoever you want to be, and like be goofy, be funny, you know, ask questions like, do you like this hair? You know, do you think it'll work?
Oh, that's, mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think filters are great in that sense, but sometimes I do notice, oh,
Look at this one. Why? Like this, I'm gonna die. Like my friend Allie's probably gonna be laughing, and this just like the, oh my God. Oh, the one with the lips.
This is a crazy one.
That one makes me laugh so hard. I get when they're like, oh my God. I guess if they make you laugh, then that's okay. Oh my God, the one with your lip. Oh, I can't. I'm gonna cry. Okay, let me go. But the one with your lips is like insanity.
Yeah, it is. It is. It can go a little crazy haywire, but it's fun to use. It's fun to use the filters definitely for showing the other side and fun side, and I think it's fine to use in stories and reels and things like that. So yeah.
Great. Okay, so I'm gonna ask if I could get out one more little tip that we should use. What can we do to spice up? So we're doing an audit, we're looking at ours, we're looking at others. Like, what's one more like little thing we can do with our content or bio or whatever?
Yeah, okay. So I think a lot of what I see definitely can start with the bio. I think that's huge because as soon as someone comes to your profile, whether they found you through like this live, someone might come who hasn't seen me or you before from our following and be like, oh, I want to go check out Jackie's, you know, what she's about. And then if they go on your profile and they see like you like I did a reel on this, if that you like dogs and sunsets and tacos and have women empowerment coach on there. Like, okay, so I don't know if she's going to be sharing what I want to hear about, or, you know, she's going to be sharing about dogs, cats, or dogs, sunsets, and tacos. So very clear on your bio is the first thing like you can do to spice up your profile and your social media. So I want to know when I come on there, how you can help me. Oh, first of all, what do you do? Like, what do you offer, and then who you help. So am I part of that audience, and is this the right place for me, right? Knowing this is the community I want to join. So I help small businesses. Like for me, it would be I help small business owners with you know, doing more on social by overthinking less, you know, and yeah, just enjoying social media, right? Like something like that. So they want to know like how much value they can get from you and what that value is. Then the last thing I would say is on your profile, if you can have a call to action, like if you have an email list, say join my newsletter and get tips every week or something, or, you know, book a consult with me, or, you know, join our wait list if you're selling, you know, launching a new product or service. That way people can like kind of get that first initial like, or get this freebie, like that's another great one. So that's the way they can like get a taste of what you do and see what's going on with what you do. So that's how I would spice up your bio. So like those three main things: tell people like what you do exactly, like your offer, who you help. So mention who it is that you help. It can't be everyone, so it has to be like pretty clear on who you help. Women, men, or is it kids? Is it, you know, whatever. And then if you can offer something that's of high value right away, then put that in your bio if possible. So that's kind of like what I would say is like the first thing you can do to spice up your account.
That's awesome. Yeah. And then and you have to learn to be succinct because they only allow you a certain amount of characters. So that's where I was struggling this past round, where I was working to be more succinct and get super clear on, and I was answering these questions like, I'm a women empowerment coach, helping women uncover their purpose, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like what I do, who I help, and then the call to action, which that's really helpful because you want to drive people. You want to bring them on a journey with you, like give them an experience of what it's like to interact with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, you can mention some accolades in there if you have space, but I wouldn't overdo it. Like, I mean, people will find out I'm a mom. You know, I've had like other businesses like through the stories I tell eventually on my account. But that's more like, how if it makes an impact, like if you've, you know, enrolled, you know, thousands of people in your course and that's what you're selling on Instagram, then that's something you would mention and things like that. But otherwise, a lot of it has to just be about that person who's going to be reading, not about you necessarily. So that's the thing that you have to remember with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. Okay, so we got really two great tips. Thank you. And I apologize for the beginning Wi-Fi issue. Would you like to share
No
with the
problem.
audience where we could find you?
Yes. So you know, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, but I am, again, a social media strategist and a consultant. So if you were interested in strategy, like coming up with a plan and content themes so that you're not overwhelmed with what to do and when to do it and how to do it, then you can work with me in that way. That's my like best session, I would say. Like you get more bang for your buck. And then other small sessions, the way you can work with me is like having a social media audit done on your account, or you can do like a pick my brain session, which I love because, you know, sometimes you get questions in DMs and you can't answer everything through DM, and it requires like just a call, like just a, hey, you know, book a call with me and then let's get it all sorted out. So that's my pick my brain session. So those are the three main ones, but I'm also offering management for clients. So in starting September, I'm taking on a couple more clients. And if you are like, Prathi, I need help creating my content, I need help managing it, publishing it, and just take care of it, please, because I don't want to do any of that, then I can help with that too. So I have all that background, and so I can definitely help with that. So those are the kind of different ways you can work with me. And I think that's what you were asking. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can contacted through Instagram, basically through DM or through my link on my bio. So
Thank you so much, because I'm on your page and I was like, you have a very nice call to action. Book a consult, and it gives you little figures so you know what to do. And of course, I will include you in the show notes and on this live below. So thank you so much. This was so much fun. Thank you for spicing up our social media.
thank
It's a
you.
topic. It's a fun topic to talk about because we're living on social, so might as well have fun and bring joy while we do it. So thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. What you're doing is amazing too. I think we
Oh,
just need
thank you.
to keep us all like on the same, you know, spectrum and keep positivity going, especially us women, and help each other out. So what you're
Right
doing is
on.
so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Beyond Small Talk. And you could check us out and listen to this again so you could implement those tools, because I take notes. I had a doctor on here, and at 45, I have to write notes a lot more than when I was 25. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dr. Habadova, check her out. She's a very good brain health doctor. So you can check, yeah, on Apple and Spotify and Audible and YouTube and all the great places. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Great
everyone.
rest of your
See you next Thursday. Bye.